got him?
Snuck in the back door.
All right, everyone, it's that time. Give it up, Mr. Bill Johnson.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Thank you! No need to stop.
Okay, one more time, let's go.
Yeah!
Yeah! We're a small but mighty crowd, yeah, sir?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Mr. Johnson,
Miss Summer.
so great to see you again.
Yeah.
We're on, yeah. So good to see you again. Welcome back to Days of the Dead. It's been a while.
Thanks, yes. It
Yes.
has been.
We are happy to have you back, as always. So, since it's been a while since we've gotten to speak, you know, I like to open this up because you've had such a fun journey in the arts. I want to talk. Yes, sir. I want to talk to you about the beginning of your acting career. When did it start for you, and how?
Started lying, getting out of trouble when I was a child. And it was very successful. Well, that's a lie. I was just acting. I guess it was in high school. I was in the last semester of my high school. I needed 3 hours. Someone said, hey, take speech. It's nothing. You just show up. Someone talks and you leave. So I went in, and the teacher was sort of looked like Jigsaw's puppet. But he was wonderful. He read to us. He read Shakespeare and Dickens to us. Anyway, I started there and went to a speech contest and did a monologue from Julius Caesar. And then from there I went to a junior college, and from there to a 4-year college. And then from there to Austin, where I finished school, and then I went on the road and toured children's theater for a couple of years, and I went to Austin and did community theater and auditioned for movies and radio and TV. And in 1986, did Chainsaw 2.
So, what was your audition like for Chainsaw 2?
Yeah, it was. Well, they said there's no dialogue for you, Bill. So I came into the audition room. There was the casting director, Pat Orseth, from Austin, and her associate was helping her, and then there was a girl who would be the girl in the scene. And she was sitting on the floor with her back up against a column. And they gave me a board about, I don't know, this long, about this wide. They said, this is your chainsaw, go out there and intimidate her. I thought about that for a moment. And I had been taking martial arts at the time. And so I did a really double high kick and landed straddling her outstretched legs. And then I slowly crouched down so I could get kind of level with her face. And I took the edge of the bottom part of the board, and I slowly moved it over to the top button of her blouse. And I tick, 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 and tried to undo her blouse and move my way down. And they liked that. They thought that was okay. So they called me back for a callback. Where the writer, L.M. Kit Carson, who wrote the script, great script. Not many horror films get a script that odd and interesting. And he liked what I was doing, and then the final callback was with Toby and Caroline. And Caroline was, absolutely full of energy, like the finale at a fireworks display where they shoot everything off at one. Toby would come in like that. He came into the room and then colors started changing and, looked like looking through a lens that made things bend. He really had a lot of energy. And he liked our chemistry, so it was pretty straightforward. It's just the luck of the draw that sort of thing happens. But here's what I thought was pretty interesting. The first 4 Leatherfaces, 3 of them were from Austin, Texas.
So Austin just grows leather faces, huh?
I
Breeds leather faces in Austin.
Yeah. Well, we're all educated, We had to go to school and learn how to be evil with panache, hopefully.
So you said it was an interesting script. What drew you most to the script?
Well, I sort of. Well, at that time, I didn't care what the script was, as long as I got cast. It was a Hollywood movie. I was not a work actor. This was the sequel to a movie I had never seen except the night before I auditioned. And I saw the first Chainsaw with Gunnar. And I'm like, Bill Vale, Edmund Neal, Marilyn? They were my classmates at UT. I did not know this. I was just stunned. Gunnar was I think he was an English major. Yeah, he was an author and he'd written a number of books. Interesting books, The Estuaries Along the Newfoundland Coast. Yeah, I enjoyed Gunnar a great deal. So I saw that film and I was pretty scared. It was more like disturbed. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't trust any shadows in my house anymore. I checked all the doors and windows and made just to be sure. So that was sort of my experience about jumping into the movie.
Did you study Gunnar's performance to try to emulate it a little bit and give homage to his, what he brought to the character when you were creating your version of it?
I saw his performance and I thought, well, there's just no following that. He just closed the door behind him and nailed it shut. There's just no, trying to pick up from there because we were the characters were different. Bubba in 2 was more adolescent. It's like the earlier, younger, actually a parallel universe, more or less. And so I just worked on it with Toby and Kit Carson. Being in live theater, I'd had the opportunity to work on a number of new plays, and so working with the playwright and developing a character was I was used to it. So that was, and the script had so much juice in it, interesting language. You get them eyeball croissants ready and slice my piggy thick, yes, etc. So it was sort of like being at home when I was growing up, because I came from a family that was kind of punitive and getting hit a lot and being yelled at and stuff. So I just fit right into the merry band.
Can you share any memories or stories of working with the great Dennis Hopper?
Well, here's one I thought it was at the end, we were shooting, at night. and we had to beat the sun before it came up. And we had just, I've been in my dressing room for weeks and weeks waiting to go on to get in camera. And the second AD would come in, hey, you're up next. And he'd come in, oh, you're up after this. And I'd wait and wait and wait. And he'd come in and says, okay, lunch. I came back from lunch. And he says, you're up next. And this went on every night for 7 weeks. One of those times he came running, hurry up, we gotta beat the sun. So we ran like hell, and we did not beat the sun. So he says, okay, go climb out of makeup. So it was, Dennis Hopper was sitting here, I was here, Bill Moseley's sitting right where you were. And, Dennis Hopper, come on. I mean, a crazy party goer and a great actor who had done all kinds of insane roles, from East of Eden to Hoosiers to Blue Velvet. God, he was crazy in that. So we're chatting, and Bill's riffing and making us laugh, and Dennis loved to laugh and goof off, have a good time. He's always laughing, and we're talking about Easy Rider a little earlier, and I thought, well, I'll throw him a curve. I'll give him a line from the Easy Rider, his character. And so Dennis is in the middle of laughing, and I turn to him and I go, hey, you can't put us in jail. He's Captain America and I'm Billy. And he said, and we've been working the shows up and down the coast for top dollar too. He didn't drop a stitch. He broke right out of a solid, heavy laugh and finished the line. And Bill and I just pissed ourselves laughing because we thought that was just too freaking awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he just is, Dennis is wired differently than most people. So he seems kind of odd, but he is odd in that way, but he's sharp as a tack. And
That's why he's a genius.
yeah, a lot of people trusted him with a lot of their precious money to make movies, and he still kept getting funded, so something was working there. And he was a huge art collector. Caroline, if you ever interviewed Caroline Williams, she had a really strong relationship with him because the characters were so tight, and in the script she was like his the love child, sort of a thing. Yeah.
For sure.
Do we have any audience questions at the moment? Nothing yet? All right, I'll keep going.
Filthy questions are permitted.
Okay, so I read online, and this is online, so I don't know if it's true. You were an acting teacher for a long time. Is that true?
Yeah, I was an acting coach at the Zachary Scott Theater Center in Austin, Texas, from like 1975 until like 2003 or so.
So what do you enjoy most about coaching the up-and-coming talent?
Well, there's a tremendous sense of excitement and hopefulness and having fun about communicating and giving, sending a communication out to someone, and that they get it and that they take it, and it turns into something that is meaningful for the people involved, and that to get inside the head of a playwright. Most plays, at least the ones I've been studying, which were, anywhere from 400 years to 10 years old, where a character goes from ignorance to knowledge, and oftentimes that journey from ignorance to knowledge can be horrible or funny or both. So it was, and you had to get that across somehow. So that was fun. And we played games. It was just the psychology of it, and the theater for me is, and I think the Greeks had this in mind, this because they came up with the format that we typically use in our play structure, is that their characters, like they had a chorus, which is a group of people who represented the town or the population, and they would have like a communication with the audience. Oh no, here comes Oedipus. What are we gonna do? He's defying the gods. Ah, oh no, let's find out what happens. And typically, the Greek plays, in the Roman plays are about gods. And you don't mess with the gods. They mess with you, but you don't mess with them. And if you try to think you're smarter than them, they will punish you real bad. And Oedipus, you know the story of Oedipus Rex? Oedipus was the king of Thebes. He was originally the son of the king of Thebes, and the fortune teller said, "Your son will grow up and kill you, so be careful." So the father decided to send the child off with a servant and pin his ankles together with like manacles, and just leave him in a field and come back, tell me he's done. Well, the servant felt sorry for the kid and gave him to a farmer. And so Oedipus grew up in a farm, and he was strong, and he was the bloodline of a king, so he had some genetic advantages. Strong and smart and wily. And he's got himself a chariot, and he's rocking from the farm, and he's gonna go to Thebes because he heard there was a big problem there, that there was a horrible betrayal of the gods, and that everybody in Thebes was suffering. He showed up. On the way, little did he know, his father was with some buddies, and he was the king, and he decided he wanted the whole road. And Oedipus said, "Fuck you," and killed him in a single combat. So there's the first part of the prophecy. Oedipus killed his dad. And then later on, he took over the relationship the king had with his wife, which was his mom, and then had some children by her. So the Greeks knew how to really make life miserable for their characters. So the point of the play, I think, for the Greek audience was that the audience could get a chance to examine themselves from a distance to find out where they're going right and where they're going wrong. And then after the play, they would get together and talk and kind of figure things out. And that worked for a while, but corruption came later with the Romans, and it got real, blasphemous, and not blasphemous, but it went from sacred to profane. And then the Huns and Visigoths came in and killed them all and ruined the Roman civilization. And they picked up the debris and carried on, and after that, but it was never the same. They didn't go to the theater like they should have. They were goofing off and killing each other in the arena. And people like Spartacus and who played the gladiator in the movie? That Australian actor.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, Crowe. Russell Crowe shows up. So that's the sort of thing and it's kind of like today. It's pretty screwed up. And it's hell in a handbasket going downhill with no brakes, heading for a big cloud bank full of screams. and the clock is ticking. And the Earth's in another cycle. It's probably 172nd cycle that there's a species extinction event, a global event. The bad weather that's been escalating, that's going to continue and get worse and worse. More volcanoes that had been extinct now are becoming alive and active, and those Yellowstone just had a bad experience with their geyser that was uncontrollable, and they can no longer feel safe about what's going on there. Did you know that underneath the 3 states surrounding Yellowstone is a giant caldera, meaning like a basin underneath the crust, full of lava? And that's what provides the heat for the hot springs, is all that. And now there's pressure building up, and the assertion now is that when that caldera blows, it's going to cover most of the North America with lava. Hey, good times coming. So get what you need to get done now. Make your friends, and maybe figure out a way to sum up your life, because whatever is coming, it'll come quick. I've been watching volcano videos. Man, they're scary just on video. So if you haven't been in an earthquake or had the tremors, just wait, it's coming.
That's a real horror story right there.
It is a horror story, along with the politics. It's like, it's like watching a movie about that. It's hard to believe, this will end, and then, we'll turn the channel. This channel is on all the time, and the actors ain't going nowhere except in your pocket and pissing on your grave. So that's about the size of that. Very much like the kings of the days of old. If you weren't one of his pals, you were one of the people that he was extracting work and money from, which is what's been going on recently. Social Security, bye-bye. So it's a gig economy, right?
Yeah.
You can't even find a job now where you can get fringe benefits. So that's why we go to the movies, to help us forget and to sort of vicariously kill the people that need killing, but you can't kill them yourself. But if you can watch them on the big screen, getting theirs, that's something.
Speaking of killing on the big and small screen, you did a movie recently with a friend of mine, William Instone.
Billy Instone.
Yes,
Butcher's Bluff.
Can you talk about your experience working on that? What's it about?
Yeah, I have a cameo in that. Billy's character is a little bit like, I guess, Michael Myers, in a sense. He was institutionalized when he was very young and had really poor care. And so the Hog Man was thrown into a pig pen. And if you will recall from The Red Dragon, I believe it's The Red Dragon, one of the Hannibal Lecter books, where hogs will eat a human being if they can get a chance. They'll just devour all the bone and everything if you want to get rid of the evidence, So this kid was thrown into a hog pen, and it was horrifying for him and traumatized him. And my character that I play in the film was one of the institutional guards, and took some pity on the child, and that they had kind of a relationship, but this guard helped the kid escape because it's just going downhill. So helped him escape, and now the Hog Man's out in the forest killing people who come looking for him. And I guess I'm playing a tortured soul, sort of like a Dennis Hopper part. There's always either the person who's crazy hurting someone, or the person who's crazy from being hurt.
I know our friend Billy, he was the Hog Man, right?
He is the Hog Man, created the Hog Man, directed and acted in it, wrote it too. I mean, I think he's just a wonderful filmmaker.
Oh, definitely.
And
He's working on a new one right now called Goldilocks.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be good.
I wonder who's been sleeping in whose bed.
Do you have any fun stories of filming Butcher's Bluff?
I would like had one day. It was just a day shoot.
Okay.
So it was mostly hanging out in the boat. It was during COVID.
Oh.
So
So it's really challenging. With
yeah, it was
restrictions.
pretty low key, not too many people in the bar. But it was, I always liked working with him, and it's fun to be creative with him. And yeah, really that helps you work well, which is nice.
Agreed. So going back to Texas Chainsaw, do you have a scene in the movie that you did that you're most proud of?
I think, I enjoyed working with Bill Moseley, and when we, working with Grandpa at the dinner table. That was a lot of fun. My most favorite part, and the part that turned out wicked funny and eerily erotic, was with Caroline.
That scene, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty edgy at the time the movie was made. So, yeah, I had an interview in Austin after the film was done, and on a early morning talk show, they were very pleasant and asked me in, and then they hit me with, "How does it feel to be in a slasher movie? Don't you feel ashamed?" God, man. So it was not really accepted with a lot of open arms. I was just talking with Heather Buckley, who was a filmmaker, and she does ancillary material for like bonus features and DVDs, etc. And she's working on a documentary about Chainsaw 2 and how it changed Austin. Because at that time, Richard Linklater and Robert Rodriguez and David Boone, Brian Hansen, being local filmmakers, were doing breakthrough work, new work. And so she was following that, and that apparently since Austin was the capital of Texas and very conservative, even though there's sort of a blue light surrounding the Austin and its community because of the university, they were trying to either stop having it produced or belittling it. And it didn't stop the popularity at all.
Clearly.
What was the most challenging scene you shot on Texas Chainsaw 2?
Challenging. Well, I would say that the scene with Caroline was challenging because it was delicate. It was couldn't go like Toby would be directing me from off camera, because there was no script or description of what was going on in that scene, and he kind of talked me through it. And he would say, "That's right." He would be like the voice in my head. "Yeah, I wonder what my brother's up to. Oh, what's that sound of it? Okay, look at her. Look at her lips. That's it. Get that saw. Move it up that leg. Yeah. Oh, Now they gotta run on the zipper. No, not so low. Get that up. We'll have a goddamn X-ray just. Oh no. I said, all right. Yeah, it was. It did remind me of a cuckold bringing in a paramour for his wife and directing the stuff. It felt like that. I mean, you could the concentration in the room was pretty serious, and it was quiet. It was real quiet. I almost think I heard sweat dripping off of people's faces and hitting the floor like raindrops in a bucket. And but Toby said after he said, "Cut, please God, tell me we got that." And Dick Couros checked the gate. Gate's clear, and everybody cheered, and that was Caroline made that to me in a scene between a man and a woman, and there's an agreement or a sexual tension. Without the women's cooperation, that scene ain't going anywhere, nowhere. And Caroline made that scene sing. It flew. And I really enjoyed her at the end where she was swinging that chainsaw above her head and screaming like a crazy woman. I thought, man, we ought to see more of her in action films.
Definitely.
Anyone else out there? No? All right. Well, back to Texas.
Any comments?
Give us some recipes.
For what?
Anything.
Cowboy Kent Rollins chili. It's real good and real easy. Take 2 pounds of ground chuck. 80-20 is usually what you work with. And you get your pan real hot. You got a big old Dutch oven. Get it real hot, and you get that meat in there, and you get it sizzling. You want to form a lot of color so you can get some flavor from that Maillard reaction. And you get it chunked, and then when it's starting to brown, you throw in a couple of diced onions. I like yellow. Get that going. Then you hit that with a combination of 1/3 cup of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. I like cumin, so I use more. And you sprinkle that on, and you get that going. You put in a can of Rotel and get that incorporated. 15.5 or 16 ounce can of tomato sauce. Get that going, and you let that simmer for a little bit. Then you drain a can of black beans, a can of kidney beans, a can of pinto beans, and you put more beans in if you wish. I do. I like that extra protein. And blend it and season it some more. I like to put in another 1/2 finely chopped onion, because I like to have to see onion and taste onion in my chili. Because before I put the beans in, it's mostly been melted and consumed and blended into the sauce. Put in your beans, put it on simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, and dish it up, and it's real good eating. There it is. Cowboy Kent Rollins.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I know what I'm going to be making when I get home from the convention.
It's a really good chili.
That
It's
sounds
really
amazing.
simple. It's hard to find good chili.
Would you suppose that was the chili recipe they used in Texas Chainsaw in that cook-off? I'm just wondering. Hey!
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think it's a strong possibility. If you like long pig, as they call human flesh, some people call it long pig. But I'd have to work with that recipe a little bit.
Yeah.
That would be pretty, you might call it, what is it, the Donner Pass recipe. Remember the Donner Pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good way to end this. We're about out of time. If no one else has any questions, we ended on a recipe. No one? No? Okay.
I want to thank you, everyone. You fans are far out, and you make the world go round. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah! She's my fave. And we'll be together in Houston in August at, what's the name of that convention?